Hello, hello, hello. We are back. Yes, we are. We're talking about the prophet Balaam, Balaam, Balaam. That take place in Numbers 22, from verse 20 to 22, verse 28. Okay, we're going to take a little bit to talk about that because when we get to the book to not to chapter 22 all the way down to chapter 24, right, is talking about Balaam. So I want you to is really concentrated more on Balaam. So I want you to get associated with it, have a little story behind it before I really take time to explain those to 22, 23, and 24 to you. Okay, the prophet Balaam. In the history of biblical interpretation, the prophet or seer named Balaam had received mixed reviews. Some commentators have viewed Balaam as a true and obedient prophet of God. Others have labeled him an evil and false prophet. The variation in evaluating Balaam's character is due in part to the complexity of the biblical record itself. The figure of Balaam emerged from Numbers 22 to Numbers 24 in a largely positive light. Although Balaam is lampooned in the donkey episode in Numbers 22 down to 35. He ended up obediently speaking God's words of blessing rather than curse. The prophet Micah, Michah, Micah, affirmed the way Balaam turned back the evil scheme of King Balak in Micah 6, verse 5. On the other hand, in Deuteronomy 23, verse 5 and 6, portray Balaam negatively and use his association with Moab as a reason for prohibiting Moabites and Ammonites from entering the assembly of God's people. Later, Balaam is killed for having counseled the Midianite woman to lead Israel astray in the worship of a false god named Baal of Peor. When you see in Numbers 25, um, and also 31, verse 8, and verse 16. Okay? Now, the the ambivalence toward the character of Balaam reflect a long history. Stories about a legendary prophet named Balaam circulate not only in Israel but also among its Near Eastern neighbors. Archaeologists have discovered plaster panel in a non-Israelite temple at, at Deir Allah in modern-day Jordan that include the name of a famed prophet named Balaam. The inscription, which is dated to the 8th century BCE, recounts Balaam's vision from the gods at night. The vision includes a message from a council of gods called the Shaddai gods. Interestingly, the Hebrew word Shaddai, translated as the Almighty, is used as a title for Israel God in the biblical oracle of Balaam. Balaam is described as the one who sees the vision of the mighty Shaddai in Numbers 24, verse 4, 16. Okay? Numbers 24, verse 4 and verse 16. And the description, Adir Allah, that's Deir, apostrophe Allah, the gods informed Balaam that a drought is about to come on the land and the order of nature is about to be overturned. Balaam prayed to the gods to reverse their decision and avoid such a calamity. The character of Balaam portrayed in Numbers 22 to Numbers 24 is probably built upon the legendary prophet who was known in the area near Moab and Jordan in the Jordan River where the biblical story Balaam is set. Okay? So we're gonna use that story a lot as reference. I just gonna get this job was just breakdown of Balaam, the prophet Balaam. So when we get into Numbers 22, 23, and 24, which is what I'm planning on doing first thing in the morning because it's 12:58 a.m. right now on Saturday morning, the day of the Sabbath, and I'm gonna continue with that tomorrow. So I wanted to give you a heads up of what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Okay? Peace, may the glory of God be with you, guide you, protect you, bless your home, bless your family. Share these posts, subscribe, donate. Donate your time to help the poor. Donate your prayer to help those and everyone around you in the world. Pray for all of us because we all need prayer. And donate your finance. Where you cannot go, your finance can. Okay? Donate your finance so we could help those who are in need. May the glory of God be with you. Happy Sabbath day. Shalom.